Taiwan and Hong Kong. I'm pretty excited to see what it is. I don't have any expectations, but as you can see in the background, clear blue skies and sun. It's a bit chilly. It says it's minus 2 degrees Celsius. It doesn't feel that. So yeah, I'm on my way now to catch my bus to get to the place, and I can't wait to see what's in store. So let's go check it out. When I first came to the area, I was initially a bit underwhelmed because of its size. I thought it would be bigger because the event said something about there will be workshops and there will be conferences about Hong Kong and Taiwan, and there will be snacks and there will be bubble tea. And there was all of those things. But I just thought it would be a bit bigger than it was. So when I first came and saw, oh, it's one little courtyard outside that's full of people, and the line to the bubble tea place is just massive. It was massive throughout the day. Like, there were always a lot of people lining up for bubble tea. So I did not get bubble tea for Milk Tea Festival. I did not. But there was the courtyard area. And then there was a mess hall. And in the mess hall, I would say was the most things that you could kind of experience. That's where the snacks were. And you could buy your tokens in there because you could buy things with tokens. And one token was 20 kroners, but you could also buy things with mobile pay, except for the bubble tea place, which only took card because it was a place from Sweden. Anyway, so in the mess hall is where most of the things were. In here you could see pictures and art pieces from Hong Kong and from Hong Kong artists. There was this wall with information about what's going on in Hong Kong right now with the protests and with China trying to kind of take away that independence they've had for a while. There was another wall where you could leave stick-it notes with little messages for Hong Kong, and that was about what was there for Hong Kong. Then there was the snack area. Some of the snacks, or a lot of the snacks, were Taiwanese snacks, and they took tokens and they took mobile pay. So I did get some dumplings just because I wanted to try. They looked good. I'm not gonna lie, they looked good. So I tried them with some light soy, and they were actually really good. I also tried this juice, which I got told was basically like chamomile tea, except it was a bit sweeter. So I wanted to try that, and it was okay, it was alright. I did enjoy it, except when I opened it, it just spilled everywhere. But yeah, it was nice, it was fine. A bit sweet. I don't know if I would call it chamomile flavor though. I would more say, imagine you're having classical milk tea and then there's a bit of sugar added and it's been made into an iced tea kind of thing. That's more how I would describe the flavor than sweet chamomile, but it was okay for what it was. The dumplings were 1 token. You got 3 for 1 token, and then you got to put a sauce on for free. You could either put the chili sauce on, or you could put a sweet soy on. I decided to put the sweet soy on, because why not? It's soy. But overall, there wasn't as many things as I thought there would be. Like I said, I thought it would be bigger. Not necessarily a lot bigger, but just a bit bigger. So it just kind of felt like, yeah, you have this one mess hall where you can see everything in there in, 3 minutes, depending how much you read of everything that's in there to give you information about Hong Kong and Taiwan. There was this one table with a lot of tourist brochures for Taiwan and a map of Taiwan. I overheard one guy talk to another guy about Taiwan's history, so there were people in there who could tell you stuff. It wasn't like it was completely empty and people were enjoying themselves. For me, it was just a bit small, a bit underwhelming, like I said, but it was a nice place. And so later I decided, hey, I'm gonna sign up for one of these workshops, why not? There were 2 workshops left for the day. 3 workshops in calligraphy, so I would count that as one kind of workshop because it's the same workshop, you get told the same things. And then one workshop left in lantern making, and there was only one spot left in the lantern making. So I decided I wanted to do the lantern thing, which is how I got this little mouse that I'm not completely done with yet. And yeah, it was really cozy, and the guys there, they told us a lot of things. While we were making the lanterns, a lot of educational things. They told us how lanterns came to be a symbol of hope. Is some story about, well, not some story. The story is that there was an emperor once who wanted to burn down the whole city. And to trick him into thinking that the city was on fire, the citizens made lanterns and then they made them float so it looked like the city was on fire. And so the emperor thought, oh, the city is on fire, I don't need to go there and put it on fire. And so the emperor never went and put the city on fire, and that's how the city survived. And that's why lanterns are what they are, from my understanding of it. And that was really something that I didn't know, so I did learn things that I didn't already know. Of course, we had this wall with all these pictures of Hong Kong, like I mentioned, with information about the artists. There was also this one table of a lady who had a YouTube channel, or have a YouTube channel, where she talks about calligraphy and the art of calligraphy. Her calligraphy on the table looked really nice. I don't know if it's super traditional or not. I don't know much about calligraphy, but I will link her YouTube channel in our description so you can check it out if you want. I haven't had time to check it out yet for myself, but I definitely want to. I already subscribed to her, so I don't forget to check out her channel, because it seemed like, from the glimpses I saw of her YouTube videos that she was playing at her stall, it seemed like she's talking a lot about the history of calligraphy and what calligraphy can do for you spiritually as well, and that just seems very interesting to me. And yeah, that was kind of what I got to experience there. Like I said, it was pretty small, but also I heard while we made these mice that apparently it was 4 guys who got together and decided they wanted to make this, and so they chose this place to have it. And I hope, because there were a lot of people there, so it's definitely something people are interested in. There were so many people coming throughout the day. Like I said, just the line for the bubble tea place just kept being full. So I really hope they'll do this again, and I really hope that next time maybe they can get a place that's a bit bigger so they can offer a bit more, and maybe even offer the conferences on Hong Kong and Taiwan more than once throughout that day. Because I came, and when I came, both of those conferences were over, and that really was something that bummed me out, because I was excited to hear more about the history of Taiwan and the history of Hong Kong. They were the main reasons I kind of went there, outside of the snacks, of course, because I figured, oh, it could be really interesting to talk about for this channel, just learn a lot of things about Hong Kong and their culture and what's going on right now, and what we can do to help, if we can do anything to help, but also Taiwan, their culture, what it looks like, why it is the way it is. Those 2 cultures are cultures I don't know much about, so I was really excited to hear more. So when I found out that there were only those 2 events really where they had the conferences at those 2 times, one for Hong Kong, one for Taiwan, I did get a bit upset, and I do wish that they'd been able to have those conferences more than once, which they probably would have if they had a bit of a bigger area, because they had the conferences in the same spot where they had the workshops. So let's say they had at least 1 room more. They could have had the conferences more than once, and you could have gone and you could have seen it, and you could have heard and you could have learned. And that's something I missed out on, because I got out of the door a bit later than I was hoping to, and then I had to top up my travel card. But yeah, it was a lovely day, and the sun was out, the sun was shining. It was -2 degrees, it said on my weather app, but it didn't really feel like it, like I said in the start of the video. It really didn't. It was a very nice day. It didn't feel cold at all. And so, of course, I did come home. But of course, outside of this mouse lantern that I'm not completely done with yet, I did come home with a bit of a haul. And I'll show you some of it. So, here we go. one of the things I took were these papers that described a piece of artwork that was there. The piece of artwork was basically, it was a round table full of ceramic pieces that were shaped like heads with mouth coverings on them. These masks were made by Anders Wong, who is a Hong Kong activist, raised in Denmark, born and raised in Denmark. His grandmother is from Hong Kong, and she came here in the 50s because she met his grandfather, and then they married in Hong Kong, and he's been to Hong Kong 2 times. So it's a bit about him and a bit about what he feels about the situation in Hong Kong. You can see his email at the bottom of these papers. I got 2. I got one in English, that's just his story, and then one in Danish, which was his story and a picture of him. As you can see, it's a bit ripped because his visitation card was taped on there with really strong crocodile tape. And it's a very nice visitation card, very clean. On the back side, you can see ceramic pieces and a link to his Instagram. So that's one of the things that I took from the event. Another thing I took from the event was near this wall of pictures from different artists from Hong Kong depicting what's going on in Hong Kong. I took these letters that were there freely from... I haven't really read them yet, but I'm guessing it's from Hong Kong activists who are captivated. Let me just read them through, just so I know what they're about. Yeah, so I just skimmed these letters, and these are letters from people who have been detained or are still detained in Hong Kong. On one side of these pages, you can see their letter in full, where they write to people who have been supporting them and their colleagues and their friends. And on the other side of the letter, you get this information about how many people have been arrested in Hong Kong in relation to the movement of setting them free again from China. And you can see some of the names of the people who have been arrested on this other side. So we have one letter is from a Jimmy Lai, and another letter from a Tony Chung, and this one that says from your brother, and the last one from a Sao Zuk. Literal translation is hand and feet. It is the term protesters address each other, and it conveys the idea of unity. So this is addressed to the protesters from a protester. So there were these 4 letters that you could take that I took with me home because I figured I would read them and then look a bit at the backside to learn more about all these activists getting arrested in Hong Kong. So as you can hear, all this with the art and these letters, it's a bit of a somber tone, which in a way, again, I wish they had more rooms because then they could have split it up. Because it felt a bit weird that you went to one side where you had this wall of art and text and all this information and letters from protesters who are in prison that's about Hong Kong and what's going on in Hong Kong, and then you go to the right and it's all these snacks from Taiwan and people who are like having a good time. So again, I wish they had the chance to have more rooms so it could be more split up, so you could have one room where it's a bit of a more somber tone and another room where it's more uplifted and it's more about the snacks and it's more about the drinks, because someone was handing out samples of Taiwanese tea as well. With these letters, you could also take a postcard. And this is one of the art pieces that was on one of the walls. And then this plaque, translucent plaque, bring them back. And then, I don't know what it says in the bottom because I cannot read that. But it has text in the bottom that probably tells a story about something to do with the Hong Kong protesters, I guess, since it's coupled with the letters from Hong Kong protesters and coupled with this specific postcard where it says Free HK. Free HK. From the table where you could get all those flyers and pamphlets about Taiwan and traveling to Taiwan, I decided to get a few things from there. I debated getting one of everyone, but some of them were in a language that I don't know how to read. But I did get one of these, Next Destination Taiwan. I haven't really looked at it yet. So let me just look at it live now. Oh, it has a map. Right in the middle of it, it has a map. What else does it have? A map of Taiwan. Wow, it has a lot of pictures of nature in Taiwan. Very, very beautiful, very sturdy paper as well. What else does it have? Let's just look at a couple of the pages. Something about how they celebrate traditions in the modern age, again with like really, really lovely pictures. It's very beautiful, very sturdy pages. So this whole little book, I'm guessing, just judging from those 3 pages we just looked at, it's gonna tell you about Taiwan and its culture and its traditions and what you can experience if you go visit Taiwan. Another thing I got from that little table was Taiwan, the heart of Asia, top 10 places to visit. A little booklet. Guessing it's just straight out top 10 places to visit. So if you want to go to Taiwan, here's a little tour guide. Folds out to become this. Again, very sturdy paper. It shows areas you can go visit if you're interested in visiting Taiwan. And the text at the bottom tells a little bit about each place. And these are the top 10 places that they recommend that you visit if you go visit Taiwan, wrapped up in this little booklet. The next thing I got from that table is Taiwan, the heart of Asia, Taiwan tourist map. It is what it says, it's a tourist map. Let's fold it out. I haven't looked too much in depth at these things. I just took 4 things that I knew I could read that looked interesting. Funnily enough, it is what it says it is. A big old tourist map. It continues on the other side. It's very large, so it's a whole map if you plan to visit Taiwan that you can see. And the last thing I got from that stall was this book called Taiwan at a Glance. And when we open this book, you can see some of the things that's in here is, for instance, stuff about the political system. Some other stuff that's in here, something to do with the economy and the development. Political parties, southbound policy, economic growth, global survey rankings. So this is something about the growth of Taiwan and the economy of Taiwan, the politics of Taiwan. So I'm guessing how it became what it is. And on the back side you can see there are some pictures of different places from Taiwan. The last thing I got was this surprise snack bag, and I haven't opened it. I don't know what's inside it. I paid a bit much for it, so I hope it's worth it. And then of course I have this, which is also snacks. This I won at the lantern making place because they had lanterns with riddles on them, and if you could guess 3 of the riddles correctly, you would get a prize. So I took this biscuit. This is a chocolate one. There was one that looked like it was lime flavor, but I was in the mood for a chocolate. So I will taste these first. It's called Sisik cream sandwich biscuit. And then something I can't read. So let's try them out. First glance, it's a very tiny cracker. It's a bit crooked. It has chocolate inside. Go figure. It's a chocolate cookie. So it doesn't really look like anything super special. It looks like a standard chocolate cookie. Yeah, pretty standard. Nothing special or out of the ordinary. And of course it's called a chocolate biscuit, not a cookie. I don't know why I called it a cookie. Look in this back and see what's in here. Okay. First up, we got a little thank you note. Thank you for your purchase. Your support of our small business is very much appreciated. We hope the surprise bag brightens your day. And then they have their social media links in the bottom. I will put their tags in the description. And then of course they will be on our Instagram profile. So, let's see what we have here. Have a... I'm guessing this needs to be frozen before I can really eat it. Because it's very liquidy. It doesn't really say what it is. I mean, I guess it does, I just can't read it. It's in a language I don't know. It says jelly though. I'm a bit scared to open it because if it's liquidy, it is liquid. Jeez Louise. Is it? Is it liquid or is it jelly? Okay, it's a jelly. It's a liquidy jelly though. Bit odd. A liquid jelly, I've never had that before. Tastes fine. I do wonder if it needs to be frozen down though. Because it is a jelly, but it's not... You know when you buy jelly bears or gummy bears? That's kind of the consistency I thought this would have, but it's a very liquidy jelly, like I've said. What's the flavor? I think it's supposed to be pear. It's not like sweet. It's very subtle, so it's not overwhelming or anything. It's quite nice. It's a very strange consistency. I'm not used to that. Very, very peculiar. Not sure how to store this because it's so liquidy. What else do we have? A bunch of caramels, it looks like. Let's see what we have. Got a mango gummy candy. And a grape gummy candy. Wow, I have a lot of mango gummy candies. Hold on. Hold on. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mango gummy candies. I can't. They're probably made with gelatin. Because I was gonna say, if I don't like these, I could always give them to Cheshire, but if they're made with traditional gelatin, you probably wouldn't be able to eat them anyway. I got 1 grape candy. And I got salt and lemon candy. 3 salt and lemon candy. Wow. This is not good for me. 2, 3. I got 4 cappuccino candy. I got... What's this? Mitsuya cider. Whatever that is. And... Bloody? Bloody? This thing? It looks like a sour gum. Or a sour drop. It's hard. It's a hard candy. A white rabbit. I'm guessing this is a toffee of some sort. A hard toffee. I have a coffee candy. And... This candy. I don't know how to read this. So, I guess we'll just try a bit of everything. Start with the mango candy. It's squishy. Smells nice. This kind of tastes like we have some apricot candy here that's covered in sugar. It kind of tastes like that for some reason. Again, like the pear one, the liquid gummy. This is quite nice. It's a subtle flavor. It's not overwhelming. It's not super sweet. It has this kind of, you can just barely register it, but this kind of flour thing on top to make it easier to bite in. I'm guessing it's powder sugar that they use to make it not so sticky. Mango one is quite nice. I think I'll skip the cappuccino and coffee ones because it's almost 6 p.m. I don't want to get too hyper. I think I'll skip the hard candies as well for now. So this is a hard candy, so this one, and this one, and this one I'll have to save for later because they're hard candies and I haven't eaten dinner yet. I don't want to spoil my appetite too much. The salt and lemon is also hard. So we can try the grape candy. The grape candy has the same consistency as the mango candy. You can see. Squishy. Oof. It kind of smells like... You know those bathrooms that use a lot of lavender soap? That's kind of what it smells like. Hard to describe this one. Very mild in flavor like the mango one. I think I like this better than the mango one. There's something about the sweetness. It has this, I don't know if sour is the right word, but it has a bit more of a zest to it. Oh, but I only had one of those. And 3 more mangoes. For the white rabbit, I might only take 1 or 2 bites, because these are... I don't know, they're not hard candies, they're definitely toffees, but they're hard toffees, and I have bad jaws, so... Oh my god. Wait. It's super hard. Oh well. Wow. That's really hard. It's, vanilla-y, I would say. A hard vanilla toffee. Very hard. It tastes nice. But, I wouldn't be able to eat a lot of this without my jaws hurting. When I get around to tasting these and the hard candies, I'll make a post, probably on Instagram. Because I'm not doing that now. But yeah, that's, and obviously, when I finished making this lantern mouse, I'll also put a picture of my success on Instagram. But yeah, it was the Milk Tea Festival, and it was really, it was something, you know? Like I said, I do wish they had more room to be able to do more workshops, more frequent workshops, more semesters about Hong Kong and Taiwan, not just one throughout the day. Also, I think it would have been interesting if instead of just little snacks like, oh yeah, get 3 dumplings for 20 kroners, it would have been interesting if they had actual food stalls. So you could try different kinds of foods, snacky foods or whole foods, like get a lunch meal, because they were open from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. And if you were there the whole day, you would have gotten hungry, and what they had just, you know, because it was snacks, it wasn't very filling. So that's what I would wish for them in the future. If they get to do this again, I really want them to be able to go to a place where they have more room to be able to explore more of all of this, because for what it was really interesting. And also it would have been super great if, you know, at these stalls, for instance, where I got the pamphlets of Taiwan, it would have been cool if there was room for someone to just be there, like a booth. You go there and they tell you about Taiwan while you're looking at the flyers. They tell you about the history, so you can, even if you miss the little presentations and the conferences, even if you miss those conferences, you can just go to the booth of Taiwan and hear about Taiwan and its history, and you can go to a booth about Hong Kong, maybe add some other East Asian countries to hear about its history and what's going on. I think that could be really, really interesting. So I do hope that the Milk Tea Festival happens again, and I hope that it gains more traction, and because if it gains more traction, then maybe in the future they can get more space to fold out, and I think that would be really cool to see. and to visit. But that was my experience. So yeah, if they come again next year, look out for it and definitely go visit it, because I do think it was really nice. Even if it was small, it was super quaint and it was really lovely. So that was it for me, and we'll see you in the next video. So let me just show you a bit about this mouse that I didn't finish, and I took it a bit apart to be able to show you. On one side you can make a brown mouse, which is what I did and what I want to finish doing, and on the other side you can make a little white mouse. And you can also give it different clothing. You can give it this red clothing, which I am going to give it, refolded, or you can give it a different red clothing where the bottom, instead of being this, will be this. So this would be the top and this would be the bottom. Of course we have some arms too, with a bit of flowers, and you can either make it red or you can make it this different red. Of course we have, this will eventually become the handle that you hold your lantern with, and we have a little light to put inside with a battery. That's how we're gonna finish up this mouse when I get to it.
Thank you guys so much for watching our video.
If you liked our video, make sure to give it a like. And if you like what we do, hit the subscribe button and ring the bell.
See you guys in the next one.
Bye!